All right, we're back here once again. Good morning. Good morning. Once again on another episode of See You Sunday. We are back here. Week 14 preview. Man, we turning it up, man. I cannot believe that it's December already and second week of December at that as well. So we've got a great show lined up for you guys today. We got a special guest this week, the founder of See You Sunday, our guy Stephen Gillespie. What's going on, Stephen?
Hey, Couch, nothing much, man. It's good to be back. It feels like
Yes.
home. Anytime I get to link up with you, dude,
Yeah.
like I said all last year, it's always a good day. And
Yeah.
been getting more into the basketball mindset, as you can see by my Twitter handle here if you're watching live. But it I still love football. I'm wearing my Rams cap. I'm ready.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a good weekend for us. And just glad to be chopping it up with you two today.
Yeah, absolutely. Kenneth, what's going on, Kenneth?
I feel like I'm like the show staple at this point, like outside of you, Coach, where like I'm on every week and I'm giving my lukewarm takes and really enjoy chopping it up with both of you. So I had to hop on here today and chat some NFL. It is division week after all.
Ooh,
Correct. Yes, indeed. Ouch. Yeah, so we're here, and we got another special guest. Our guy, he making his See You Sunday debut.
Uh-oh.
Our guy, what's going on, Dunkel? What's
What's
up?
up, y'all? How y'all doing?
What's
Good,
up, bro?
man. What's up?
It's good. It's good seeing you guys. Good chatting it up. Can't wait to talk some football.
Yes,
Oh, there we
indeed.
go. I'm loving the
And-
background, by the way, man. Like
Yes.
all the glasses and stuff, man.
So I'm actually in my dad's basement right now, and we kind of all put this all together. So this is like we got the glasses, picture of Vince Lombardi. We got all kinds of good, cool stuff down here.
Okay, right on,
Yeah.
right on.
Go Pack Go. You know what I'm saying?
NFC
Big
heavy
time.
in this show today.
Yes, all NFC. Absolutely. So, fellas, before we get started, man, we definitely got to give our thoughts and prayers to the family of Demarius Thomas, who unfortunately passed away this Thursday at the age of 33. Pretty much 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks to his 34th birthday. Obviously, the former Georgia Tech wide receiver, Super Bowl champion with the Broncos, had a short stint with the Texans, Patriots, and the Jets. So, fellas, I'm gonna go around the horn. What's your thoughts on the life of Demarius Thomas and just your overall thoughts on what has transpired? I'm gonna go to you first, Kenneth.
I mean, it's just really sad to see a guy go so young. I mean, it was just a couple years ago that he was in the NFL and he was, maybe not what he was when he was in Denver, but he was trying to make it with multiple teams. And I mean, thinking back to those Broncos days, like one of the first years that I ever did fantasy football was that year that he had in Denver with Peyton Manning, and I got both of them in a draft. And I've just always had a soft spot for him. I'd draft him every year, regardless of who was at quarterback or how well he was playing. Like, I'm just a huge fan of his game overall. And it is just sad to see him go so early because 33, he had a full life ahead of him. And so thoughts and prayers out to his family, but I'll always have fond memories of Demarius on the field.
Yeah. How about you, Dunkel? Your thoughts?
Well, this one just hit me really hard because I've always been a big fan of DT, especially when he played on the Broncos. I actually got a Bronco hat because of DT. My dad actually met DT. We have an autographed football helmet that is addressed to me from Demarius Thomas. So this one definitely hit close to home. Tuesday, I think it was Monday night, Tuesday night. My buddy Riley called and it was like 10:30 at night, and he's like, "Hey man, did you hear?" And I'm like, "Hear what?" And I'm like, "What's going on, man?" And he's like, "Well, this is what happened." And like my first thought was he was so young, and the thing to me is, you guys obviously know this, talking so much sports, when you see guys like Peyton Manning, Tom Brady commenting on how good of a player he was, but how he was an even better person, that really speaks volumes to me. And obviously thoughts and prayers to him, his family, and obviously rest in peace.
Yeah, big time. Steven, your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, just echoing a lot of the same sentiments that our friends here just mentioned as well. I've been looking on Twitter, and I don't follow that much football on Twitter because I'm scouting basketball and things like that. But even the basketball community lifting him up. There's been a lot of folks just sharing their experiences with him, whether it be, other, famous athletes, celebrities, or even just your average Joes like us, right? I've seen pictures of him holding kids, giving jerseys and sneakers away and sitting on airplanes and just being a good dude, man. And I think that is going to be the aspect that the family would love to see, be carried on, as far as his legacy goes. But in terms of football, man, I got his career numbers pulled up. Just 724 catches for his career, all over 13 yards per reception. 86 yards as long as touchdown or as long as catch, 63 career touchdowns, a 61% catch percentage. I mean, he's phenomenal. Big receiver, not a whole lot of famous receivers coming out of Georgia Tech. We all know about Megatron, right? But, Demaryius Thomas being another big receiver for Georgia Tech, as well as Denver, playing alongside Brandon Marshall for a little while up there as well. So just his football career obviously is what he's famous for, right? But from what I've seen on his timeline and family and stuff like that, just the man that this guy was, and the fact that he's only like 2 years older than me, that's very sobering. You know what I mean? So yeah. It's tough in a lot of ways. He's a father too, and being a dad myself, heart breaks for his family, and just many prayers and thoughts for the Thomas family.
Yeah, big time. Yeah. Yeah. Shocked when I first heard about it. Obviously, you know how things are now in this information age that we are. We get bits and pieces of the story, you know. Then you hear about it, then you kind of hear from verified sources, people, news credibility with blue checks. I put it that way, and then that's when it was. That's when it was real. I think the really thing that really stuck out of it more so than anything, obviously the age of 33. I think that is just, way too young, and especially at that age. I think at 33, I think that's when I think most people starts the bulb comes out, and the bulb comes out of people as far as the situation of knowing how life is, learning more about life and having that kind of wisdom at that age. So that, and then I think what really struck me a lot was with Shannon Sharp. We said yesterday where and it's kind of a lesson to all of us. I think he had opportunities to reach out to him, but he got caught up in life, and he said, hey, I should have actually reached out to him. So this is another case in point that we always talk about now, especially during the holiday season. Reach out to people. If somebody's on your mind, they think about it, just send them a text, reach out to someone, because you never know when that person, or if you ever get that opportunity to speak to that person again. And then just hearing the stories, like as far as the accident and all that, and then just how crippling the things that he was dealing with, to a point where he wanted people to live, he had people living with him, see, he didn't want to be alone. And you just think so, and that's just, it's heartbreaking to say the least. So, it's one of the things, if somebody's on your mind, send them a text. They're on your mind for a reason. And Shannon Sharp illustrated that to the upteenth degree yesterday. But yeah, I
mean, Coach, sorry to interrupt, but everyone always thinks that we got tomorrow, man, and
don't.
33 years young. Yeah, that's I'm 2 years away from that. We got guys in the network who are at that point or older, and we got young guys too, man. And when you're 19, 20, 23, whatever, think you're gonna live forever, but Coach, like you said, whatever beef or whatever you got, it's not worth it, because 33 is not a long time. That goes by like that.
It does. Yeah, it does. And like you said, you think you'll live forever. And like we talked, and Stephen, we talked about this, like with COVID. We thought, not to kind of put the two and two side by side, but just give you an example how we looked at that as well. Well, we thought, we always think in our mind like guys are gonna live forever. We know there's such thing as, we all know, as death taxes, and death and taxes is guaranteed. But at an age, it's kind of one of those things where it's really alarming, and it kind of hits home, like you said, to your
and there's superhero stuff, man. I mean, you see everything they do on a weekly basis, and you're just like, that's not human, But I mean, even still, these heroes of ours, these superheroes of ours, it just goes to show, man, it's sobering.
Yeah, Big time. And the fact that 2 weeks from today he'd be celebrating his 34th birthday. And I think that adds on to another layer of this tragedy, unfortunately. But yep.
No doubt.
Yeah. So week 14 we've had some action on Thursday. Now week 14 now continues tomorrow. So I'm going around the horn, fellas. What are your week 14 storylines? I'm gonna go with you first, Kenneth. Your storylines this week.
I mean, lots of divisional games this week for sure. We've got 7 on the slate. We knew that the NFL had planned this to have a lot of these divisional games take place later in the year, but I think the non-divisional games, there's quite a few there that have a ton of significance outside of that. I mean, we're looking at Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I know we're going to get into that matchup in a little bit, but Buffalo loses with all those teams hot on their heels. They could fall out of the AFC playoff picture pretty quickly. Then you've got San Fran and Cincy, both teams that are scrapping and clawing in their wild card divisions, respectively. So that's another one to watch. And even Detroit versus Denver, that has significance because Denver's right there. Like, we keep writing them off all year. Well, they're still 6-6. So if they take care of business this week, they shoot up to 7-6. And it'll be something to watch because we just talked about Demaryius Thomas. I'm curious to see what the Broncos organization is going to do surrounding what happened and the tragedy that happened here. And I think it's something that I'm going to tune into for sure. And I didn't think I'd be saying that coming into the week when it comes to Denver and Detroit, but that just goes to show the significance that he had in the NFL as a whole. So I'm just really looking forward to some of these non-divisional games because I know that you guys are going to touch on some of those division ones, but there's a lot of significance this week. We keep saying it every week, but it feels like when are these teams going to start to separate? And it hasn't happened yet. Like, the difference between like first in the AFC wildcard and like 8th is a game. Like, that's
Right.
It's absolutely crazy how tight it is. So let's see if maybe a couple teams separate themselves, couple teams lose a game, drop below 500, and then we can start to weed out some of the pretenders from the contenders in the wild card positions.
Big time. Dunkel, your thoughts on week 14, your storylines?
I think I'm looking at 2. I'm looking at Buffalo and Tampa Bay. I think this is a huge one for Buffalo. The way that they looked last week, kind of getting physically dominated up front on both sides of the ball, I think they need to come out and put together a good game. But again, you're going against Tampa, who has been red hot lately, with Tom Brady obviously still throwing the ball around at 43 years old or something. And the Rams Cardinals. I think, the Rams, they still have a lot of questions about who they are. The Cardinals, they're still a young team that, they've never really been there before. And now you're kind of hitting that stretch run. So it'll be interesting to me to see how those 2 games kind of play out.
Yeah, big time. Steven, what you got?
I mean, there's not really much that I can add to what Kenneth and Dunkel just said. It's rivalry week, which is hard for me to say. But, it's an interesting week because, Bears Packers is up there too, and then obviously I'm a Rams fan. So the Rams Cardinals is a game that I'm going to have a vested interest in. But, also Cowboys and Washington, that's another big one too. But how about this? How about Raiders Chiefs? Because this is going to be a big statement game for the Chiefs moving forward. The Raiders, we just can't put them away no matter how hard we try. We keep trying to bury them, and they're almost like the Undertaker. You think they're out, and then they just, sit right back up and then come back. But, just a lot of matchups, the separations themselves. Kenneth, you said it best. It feels like every week that I've been listening to See You Sunday, and I always listen to you guys. You guys have been doing a great job. But every week it's like, who's going to separate themselves from the pack, and that's an area that I'm going to be focusing on for sure.
Big time. Yeah. And I look at, like you said, the prevailing theme, like even to Steven's point, we always have these themes, and we kind of almost lend it to like a college type of atmosphere. We did homecoming one week, and now this is rivalry, just like what Steven said, where you look at this, a lot of historic rivalries are playing this week. Obviously, Washington versus Dallas, the Raiders versus the Chiefs, definitely a staple. The Bears versus the Packers, probably the oldest rivalry in sports.
Mm-hmm.
And then we got the artist formerly known as the Cleveland Browns versus the current day Cleveland Browns, the Baltimore Ravens versus the Cleveland Browns. And so it's a lot of, and all these games in a weird way have playoff implications. So
Jags
that's another thing.
Titans is, I mean, another rivalry there. There you go.
Yeah, I'm from the South. Yeah, that's a deep South rivalry. You know, even yeah, but that is a rivalry to an extent. Yeah, big
That
time.
game's going to be deep south in my thoughts this week, but definitely one that I'm sure some at the network will be tuning into and telling us how great the Titans look.
A Southern fried rivalry, potentially. But yeah, so once we're gonna actually do some previews of 3 of the top games that we have this week. So before we get that, we definitely gotta give a huge shout out to our good folks at Built Bar. Built Bar is truly a standout among protein bars with its exceptional nutritional profile and so many delicious flavors. Use our promo code Off the Ball, which will provide you and your friends and family with a 10% discount at their website at builtbar.com. Head over there to builtbar.com, use our promo code Off the Ball and get 10% off. And I know you fellas, I know Kenneth, you've been killing those bars, I see.
Oh man, we just got our second order in actually, and funny enough,
Nice.
Built Bar sent us a promo code for our second order. So I mean, shout out to them for looking out for their customers. And we ordered 36 new bars for the next little while here as we get into wedding shape, as I would say. Because currently I am a round wedding shape, and I'd like to be a flat wedding shape. So we'll see how it goes over the next couple months here. But no, these bars are fantastic. I'm not kidding. Legitimately tastes like a chocolate bar. A lot of them taste kind of chalky when you eat them. Not Built Bar. They are that good. So I have friends here that have already used the promo code just based off of my reviews of them, and they absolutely love them. So
nice. Yeah. They've got to pick up a pair of those. I think they're the chocolate peanut butter ones. I've been eyeing those because I'm a Reese cup kind of guy.
Oh,
there you go.
So,
honestly, they hit the spot. Like they help so much when you've got that craving for chocolate. Like must have.
I have a Lamar Odom type of sweet tooth, so yeah, it gets a little diabolical at times. So, Kenneth, you gotta watch it. You gotta keep it up with the Kardashians. You'll see those back episodes. Binge watching during the holidays. You'll get that reference.
Yeah, nothing says holidays like keeping up with their Kardashians.
Kenneth is definitely keeping up with the Kardashians. Definitely.
So, fellas, let's get into our first matchup. We got the Bills heading down to a humid Tampa Bay. No snowstorms this week. So, Kenneth, your thoughts on this matchup?
I mean, this one feels like a trap game because, like, Tampa doesn't really have a lot to play for this week. Like, outside of the seeding aspect of things in the NFC, like division-wise, they're 4 games up in their division. Yeah, they have a lot of division games down the stretch, so we're expecting them to win this division pretty handily. Buffalo, on the other hand, they're currently holding down that last wild card spot. So, they have to get a win here. And they're coming off a week where it was cold. They tried to throw the football as much as they could in those tough conditions. And, mostly due to the fact that they maybe have half of a running back right now. So, let's see if Josh Allen in the passing game in warmer climate gets it going. This is a game where I'm picking Buffalo to win because I think they need it more. I think they're coming out a bit more motivated. We know that Tom has had no issue beating Buffalo over the years, but this is a different Buffalo team than the one that he saw for 20 years in his division. So I'm rolling with Buffalo to win this week and cover that spread.
Yeah, absolutely. This isn't our big brothers Buffalo Bills. This is a different beast.
This isn't those 5-11 Buffalo Bills that he saw for 20 years. So Josh Allen's a little bit better than J.P. Lossman, Brad Johnson, name a couple other Buffalo QBs if you even know their names. So
Kevin Cobb.
There you go.
Dunkel, your thoughts on this matchup, Bills and Bucks?
Well, I see my guy Shooter's Pod is already shooting out his bets for tomorrow. Gotta love it. I'll say this. I think this game is kind of important for both teams. In a way, I think with Tampa Bay, I think obviously they would love to get the number 1 seed, get that bye, get their home games at Tampa. Still fighting with Green Bay and Arizona up there, top of the AFC. NFC. And then you have Buffalo, who's a game back in New England. And I believe they play New England in 2 weeks or next week. So this is a big game for them. I will say, Kenneth, I disagree, man. I will not bet against Tom Brady at home, especially the way Buffalo looked last week. The concerning thing for me, fellas, in this game is how Tampa Bay, they've been running the ball so well lately. And last week, I just watched Buffalo give up like 230 yards to New England. And I think, to be honest, Tampa's got the better running back. And while they got Tom Brady, so they got a threat of, hitting you over the top. So I like Tampa, and I like the -3.5 shooters pod.
I mean, the thing too is that Tampa has a running back. Like, they definitely have the best running back, because I don't know if I'd classify what Buffalo's been rolling with Singletary and Breda and Zach Moss. Like, those aren't running backs that I think are starting on many teams in the league. So yeah, I could see them pounding the rock for sure.
Yeah, big time. What you got, Steven?
I'm staying away from the whole who needs it more narrative from this week moving forward, because everybody needs games this late in the season right now. And, I think, Dunkel, you did a great job of pointing out that, sure, Tampa has a better record, but there's a couple teams ahead of them, and there's a couple teams right on their heels too. So that NFC seeding is going to be very important for them. But, Kenneth also points out that Buffalo has to start winning games or they won't make the playoffs. And that's huge, right? So both teams have something to play for in this game. And, Dunkel, I concede to what you say, man, because the running game of Tampa is there. They have Fournette, which is great, and Buffalo can't stop a nosebleed with the run right now, too. New England, they just got beat up by New England, and now they're going to go get beat by, former New England Tom Brady. It's not going to be a good couple weeks if you're a Buffalo Bills fan. I like Tampa in this game.
Yeah, what's funny, because like you said, and like even to almost like you said, as far as who needs it more, because everybody needs it, but in this case, Buffalo got to, because they're really fighting for their playoff lives. You just look at just what they're doing. I'm a glass half full kind of guy. So the beauty thing about Tampa might be very afraid of is Buffalo's pass defense, because last week it was non-existent, because honestly they only had a 2 for 3 barrage of McCorkle Jones. McCorkle. So this is actually, I actually like Buffalo in this game. And they're kind of in this weird way. We talk in this. And it's funny how everybody say, well, Buffalo, they're like they play like they like in a hot weather city, and they're in Tampa. And you look at that standpoint, and then just they gotta get it, because this is it. Like, because there's a lot of teams that are nipping at their heels like this. We a few weeks ago, I know, Kenneth, I was on the bandwagon telling people to go and get your plane ticket from Niagara Falls to LAX. Like, straight up, and like if you're a travel agent, you took my advice, I hope you get your deposit back, because I don't know if this is gonna happen, man. Like, if you don't get
look at who's like right around their same record right now. Like the Chargers, they're playing this week. The Broncos, the Raiders, the Steelers, Browns, the Colts. They have zero ground to lose.
Yeah,
exactly.
The only saving grace for Buffalo is that they get to finish with Atlanta and the Jets, but they still have to win games over these next few weeks. Like, you got Tampa, Carolina, that's a tough defense. They haven't looked great offensively. Then you have New England again, and you have to go to their place to play. So who knows what the conditions are going to be like in that game. If you get similar type of conditions, we could see them get run off the field again. So if we start stacking up all these losses, then, they're on the outside looking in, because some of these other teams don't have tough schedules either.
Yeah, big time. So the next matchup I want to talk about, fellas, is the Rams versus the Chargers on Monday Night Affair in SoFi.
Cardinals.
Oh, it's in Arizona?
Yeah. No,
Oh, okay.
you said Chargers. You said
Yeah,
Chargers.
you
Oh,
said
it's a
Chargers.
Chargers. Oh,
Yeah.
Lord. See, see, LA, San Diego. Lord have mercy.
It's all good.
Yeah, it's the
all
Rams
good.
Fans versus the Cards in SoFi. Kenneth, what you got?
This is my game to watch this week. I really think that this is the cream of the crop as far as offenses go in the NFC. Sorry, Dunk, I know you're a Packers guy, but I really do love both of these offenses. I like what I saw from them last. Like, the thing is, both of these teams last week, like, they looked great, but like the competition really wasn't there for either of them. Like, yeah, the Rams blew out the Jags like they should, 37-7. And then Arizona beats Chicago pretty handily in tough conditions, but they didn't look particularly great against bad competition. So when they met earlier in the year, I was on the Arizona train for the upset. I think this week I'm on the Rams train for the upset because these two teams are just so good that I think if they played each other 10 times, they'd split 5-5. And so I really do believe that the Rams are going to go in. They're going to right the ship, give themselves a chance to still win the division because let's face it, if the Rams lose this game, they don't win the division at that point. Arizona will be winning the NFC West this year. So I think the Rams have to go in and win, and I think they're going to do so this week. And McVay's going to outcoach Kingsbury in this game.
Yeah. What about you, Dunkel? Your thoughts on the Monday night game here?
Well, I'm gonna be honest. I think easily the Rams are gonna win this game. I think the Cardinals are just kind of flying in a little too high right now. Everybody's kind of overhyped on them. I think the Rams win like 31-21. I like your point, Kenneth. I think McVay outcoaches Kingsbury. I think too, Aaron Donald. Like, I haven't really seen the Cardinals offense go up against a real premier pass rusher in a few weeks. Aaron Donald's that premier pass rusher, Von Miller as well. I think this Rams team kind of comes in there, dominates. Everybody's kind of sleeping on them. I like them to win.
Yeah. You got Steven?
Man, do you want me to be unbiased or biased? I mean, because if I'm biased,
you know how we roll.
Hey, bro, because if I'm biased, I'm going Rams. But if I'm looking through, lenses that aren't just rose-colored, it's going to be a tough game, man. Because, I mean, being real, the Cardinals have won games without players that they shouldn't have won. I mean, they're that good this season. Cliff Kingsbury has done a heck of a job coaching this team. I mean, if you look at the job that they've done with quarterbacks being gone, receivers being gone, defensive linemen being done for the year, a secondary that's just kind of almost ragtag thrown together at the beginning of the season, linebackers in and out. They've dealt with a bevy of problems, and they're the best team right now, at least on paper, in the NFC. That's tough. And on the flip side, the Rams looked really good coming into the season. Made a few acquisitions, right? We added an Odell Beckham Jr. who, is a problem child, who is the reason that Baker Mayfield has any sort of errors at all. And we see him in his first game where he doesn't know the playbook, and everyone said, "Oh, look, here goes same OBJ." You give him a bye week to learn the playbook, and then all of a sudden he looks like he can still kind of play football a little bit. I know people have different thoughts and feelings about how difficult it can be to insert a pass rusher like a Von Miller, but it's different because guys are going to be lined up in different positions on the field, and you still got to learn how to play next to one another at the same time. So we had a good tune-up game. Kenneth, you pointed out against the Jaguars. It looked like we played the Jaguars, but that's what you want, right? If you're a really good team and you play a really bad team, you want to look like you're a really good team and they're a really bad team. And that's exactly what happened. So I'm hopeful that this game, that last week was kind of a reset button, especially for Matt Stafford, who the previous couple weeks had been looking kind of suspect. Hopefully it shakes out. But if I'm being completely transparent and unbiased, I'm going to go with the Cardinals in this matchup. Call me whatever kind of fan you want. I'm cool with that. I've been a Rams fan for a long time. I've seen a lot of bad seasons. And I think matched up against Arizona, it's just going to be tough, man. I'm hopeful that we win, but I think Arizona is going to win. I mean, Kyler Murray is unlike any other quarterback in the NFL. And, with the weapons that he has around him, the speed that they play with, and being honest, outside of Ramsey, our linebacking unit and our secondary really isn't that strong. And we have a lot of weapons that we got to keep up with. So Dunk, I hope you're right. I hope it's a huge season day for Aaron Donald and Von Miller, and shout out to Leonard Floyd, a guy who no one really talks about in that pass rushing unit too. But if we're not hitting Murray, which is a tough task, our secondary is going to have a long day.
Yeah. It's going to be definitely interesting matchup, obviously, the Monday night game. You just look at it just from the standpoint of essentially this is another one where the Rams got to take advantage of this, because just the simple fact of because Arizona will really run away with this division with this win, essentially, because this would be a sweep if they were to take care of business. So in order for them to even have hopes or aspirations to be NFC West champions, it's got to start here. It's a lot of good individual matchups. Obviously, Arizona pretty much now coming back in form. D-Hop is back. Also, Kyler Murray is back. Like you said, both opponents kind of had weak games, but it is NFL. You need to still come out to play regardless of your opponent.
We've seen bad teams beat good teams this year. Correct,
big time. And two good matchups that I want to see in this one. Obviously, Jalen Ramsey versus D-Hop. That's going to be a great matchup. And then also Byron Murphy and Cooper Rush. I'm not Cooper Rush. Cooper Kupp. I swear, it's like how you do Russell Westbrook and Russell Wilson. I do the same thing with them, which I don't understand why I do.
Don't say Cooper Rush, or you might trigger JP. I think he's got some PTSD still.
I know, right? My bad.
And I think Rams' secret X factor in this game, if we're going to win, we need a big day from Sony Michel, who looks like he's kind of coming into his own the past couple weeks.
Do we know if Henderson's playing this week? I know that he was active but didn't take a snap last week. I think it was more so just as an insurance thing, but I'm not sure if he's a go this week or not. I hope so for my fantasy team's sake.
I don't know. I'm liking Michelle a lot better than I
think even if he does play it, it's like split backfield, because I know McVay also loves to play the split backs. Like even when Cam Akers was there, like we were still seeing Henderson last year. We were seeing Malcolm Brown. Like they love to mix it up.
Yep.
All right, but yeah. So the main event, fellas.
Wait, that wasn't the main event?
No, absolutely not.
No.
What's up, Mal?
That was him saying absolutely not.
There was an expletive before that.
No. You know why we're here.
Me yeah, I'm sorry.
You know why we're here.
Dunkel, we can just leave, dude. We just let these two have it.
Hey, I actually have some strong thoughts about this one. So I'm fired up to hear Kenneth and you guys kind of go back and forth Washington, Dallas here.
Yes, the most historic, a very esteemed rivalry. We meet once again in a pivotal game. We got the Cowboys versus the Washington football team. Kenneth, I'm gonna go with you first, Kenneth. Your thoughts on this matchup?
I hate that we're favored in this game. I really do. Like we are -4.5 on the road in a pivotal divisional game, and I hate it. Coach, at no point this season wrote off the Washington football team. When y'all were 2-6 and everyone's like, well, Dallas won the division. It's like, hold up. Like, we still got a second half of the year to play. We slip up against the Broncos. We lose to the Raiders. Washington goes on this tear that they've been on. And now we've got that pivotal divisional game. And, I'll be 100% honest. I think Washington wins the game this week. And I know Mo's going to be killing me about it. And he's going to say, wow, you're not a real Dallas fan. What are you saying? But division games are tough. Even when you play bad division teams, we see slip-ups all the time. Washington is not a bad football team. We overreacted at the start of the year because their defense wasn't top 5 like we said they were going to be. But the defense has improved over the last little bit. You guys talked about it last night. How many points per game are they giving up over their win streak?
17.5.
That's concerning. And Dallas offense hasn't looked great as of late. So could I see a situation where Dallas goes in? Yeah, there it is. Where Dallas goes in, they maybe struggle a bit out of the gates, they fall behind, and then it's tough to make up ground. on that Washington defense the way that they're playing. So, maybe I'm trying to cancel out coach's juju that he has of not picking Washington to win by taking Washington to win. Maybe that's what I'm doing here. But I honestly do think Dallas loses this week. I think we win our game at home late in the year and we split the division this year because I think the teams are a lot closer than people are giving them credit for. And yeah, Dallas offense hasn't looked great the last number of weeks. So you can call me a bad fan or whatever else, Mo, but I think we lose this week.
All right. Dunkel, your thoughts?
Well, I think this is going to be a great game. I think this is definitely one of the games that I'm looking forward to tuning into. I agree with you though, Kenneth. I think if you're a Dallas fan, you go, here we go again. We're favored against a divisional opponent, and you know how the Cowboys kind of roll, Kenneth. They have that a couple slip up games a year where they're like, oh my God, they're the accident waiting to happen again. And but as much as I hate to say it, Kenneth, I think this will be a really close game. I think Dallas has some great talent. Washington has some great talent. But I'm a big Ohio State Buckeyes fan, and Washington has one of my boys, that man Terry McLaurin. I think he's going to be the X factor. He's going to go off, and Washington wins 27-24. Let's go.
So McLaurin over Zeke, noted fandom wise.
Hey, Kenneth,
I know.
Both.
Hey, I full disclosure, I love Terry McLaurin as well as a player. I think he's a great wide receiver, and I think he doesn't get enough credit because of where he plays right now. And yeah, I think he's a great talent.
Well, Kenneth too. I mean, I love Zeke. Zeke's my guy, but he hasn't looked that great the past couple weeks. So
years
got to go with the red hot Washington football team right
now. Steven, what you got?
It's the NFC East, man. You just throw the record out the window. It doesn't matter anymore, right? Like it truly doesn't. The Eagles are only a game back from the football team. I mean, which is crazy to think. And even the Giants aren't as bad as what I think Giants fans think they are. I mean, considering who they have on this roster, I didn't have high expectations for them to begin with. So the fact that they already got 4 wins, I think that that's actually kind of a little bit on par, maybe a little at a step. So, I mean, it's the NFC East though. And it's the Dallas Cowboys, man. It's like every season that you think they're going to do something, especially when they start off well, and you got every Cowboy fan that talking about how good they are and how they're going to make a Super Bowl and all these other things. Like Dunkel said, man, it's like you get to this point of the season, it's like, okay, these are the Dallas Cowboys. So I don't know, man. I don't know who to pick. I got guys on the network that I love that love both teams. I just want a good football game. But I think the Cowboys win.
Yeah.
Had we not already slipped up like as badly as we did against Denver, and then we blew it against Vegas when we should have won, like I'm rolling with Dallas all day, but like those are recent games. Those aren't September games. Those are over the last month. So, that's my cause for concern. If we would have taken care of business how we should have, and we should be 10-2 with Arizona, then sure. But they've slipped up, and so I'm tempering expectations this week.
I like Dallas in a close game, kind of like how Dunkel was saying. I like Dallas in a really tight game because anytime these two teams match up, it's just like how the Rams are and have been for a long time with the Seattle Seahawks. It doesn't matter who's the favorite to win a Super Bowl or win the division that year. Anytime that those two teams match up, it's always a dogfight, and that's what this game's going to be.
Yeah. Like you said, and to Steven's point, you throw the records out the way. Because honestly, we've had scenarios in the past when we were good, Dallas would beat us, and it would be their only win one year. I remember we went to Super Bowl and won. They only won one game, and they beat us. And then I think, what was it, like when we were horrible, like in 95 or 96, same thing happened with this. We beat them. And this is one thing, it's a rivalry for a reason. It's just always it's just the pageantry of it all. You circle this moment on the calendar. We got the schedule in May. We knew, hey, December the 12th, both of us teams, we know we got to pack our lunch because at the end of the day, it's all out war, regardless who's there. Like we talked about it on the show, we had John Kitna versus Rex Grossman. That was, even though that wasn't the most sexiest game, but it was a game.
Mhm.
So it's just one of the things with that. You look at like what Dallas has done this year, and now they're kind of getting back into their own frame now with their triplets, their wide receiver trio is kind of back. No shots, Kenneth. Just air quotes.
I
Because
think Gibson,
the
though, man,
historical significance.
Gibson is gonna be the
Factor.
telltale. I think that what his stat line looks like, that's gonna be the determining factor of this game. I wholeheartedly believe that, and I think Dallas they're gonna do a lot. I think to kind of stifle that run game, because I think their secondary, as shoddy as it can be sometimes, I kind of trust that a little bit more against a football team.
Yeah, and like you said, and then they get their strength back, and then also just like you said with on Washington, obviously you got to get a heavy dose of AG. Then also hopefully JD McKissick, I think he'll be back. I
Arkansas
think
State,
he was
baby, let's go.
so big time. And then you just look at just what Taylor Heineke can do. He's now has kind of played into his role now. He's kind of got comfortable. He's able to read defense a lot more. He takes what the defense gives him.
People are saying he's a league starter now, Coach. I heard that on one of your shows, man.
I think he is.
Potentially. I think so.
Starter.
At this point,
I think he is too.
I think at this point he is. I think you're now seeing the naturalization of him, and he's what we deem as a late bloomer. But there's nothing wrong with being a late bloomer. Obviously, there's going to be a movie about the ultimate late bloomer, and your boy, yeah. So it's okay. It's okay at this point. And I think at this point, he has proven himself to be the quarterback for this team going forward. I think he has earned that to the point. And these next 5 games will be a great barometer for him. I think if he does what he has done as of late, and he's went against a lot of good teams, so and have won. So as of late, he has definitely played himself into a starting role, a starting quarterback in this league, and he's very, very smart, very methodical with it. The offensive line has been been great. You just look at this team, just resilient. We're on our 4th center this year, so we've been it's almost just been like a musical chairs when it comes to our offensive line. It's a patchwork deal, but we're getting it done. And there's so many things going on. I think we're on our 4th kicker at this point. So, hey, we just keep on going. We just with the wound. Yep, we just keep on going, and we got the perfect coach for that type of situation. We're just a wounded dog in the alley. No one wants to see us. But
well, and Coach, as a Washington football team fan, you have to feel pretty good about how this season is going for you too. Like, you guys, I feel like, are going to make the playoffs, and I think you guys are going to be a really tough out for whoever you guys play in the first round, and you could definitely give a team like Tampa a run for their money, because you have that pass rush that can get Brady uncomfortable. Mo Murphy also is not very happy with me and Kenneth right now.
He's happy with me.
Mo, I'm sorry, man. All love, brother. OHIO. Buckeye Nation, stick together.
The thing that Dallas also has to do, because the pass rush hasn't really been great this year for Dallas, they have to intercept Taylor Heineke at some point. Like, he's thrown 2 picks the last 4 weeks. They have to create a turnover without pressure. And, I think I'm also tempering expectations, because I know Dallas defense is better than it was last year, but I don't forget Thanksgiving last year, when like Gibson ran all over us last year.
Yep.
So like you have to provide that context to this game. Like, as you said, throw the records out the window, act like you're both 0-0, and let's go. Like,
I don't think any fan base should be comfortable about this matchup at all.
No.
It's a scary feeling. If you do, it's irrational confidence.
And I think if you're talking about a safe bet for this game, you take Washington at +4.5, because we've all thought this is a close game, and close game, I mean, it could be coming down to a last-second field goal, which means that you win your bet in that situation. So, and
it's usually tailored to the home team too. I mean,
and that's the thing. The fact that Dallas,
about the betting aspect of it in close games, the home team will usually get the nod.
Yeah, and because if Dallas is at home, Vegas probably has them at a touchdown, which once again to me is insane for a division game like this. But yeah, I think that'll probably be a bet of mine tomorrow on bets on bets on bets.
And you know what? That line, we'll see that line in a week. We'll see that line, especially when we play each other the day after Christmas.
Kenneth got to
What?
talk about the Cowboys, and then he said, "All
Right,
right,
what happened? Like he drastically just went away. But hey, so fellas, we'll go around the horn. Your game to watch this week. I'm gonna go with you first, Dunkel. Your game this week to watch.
My game this week to watch, I think, has to be Buffalo and Tampa. We talked about this game a lot on the show today. I think it's got a lot at stake. Obviously, I'll be watching my team on Sunday night. Hopefully, we get the dub. I really hope so. But yeah, Buffalo, Tampa Bay, two main storylines, two really good quarterbacks, a lot of talent in this matchup. Look forward to it.
All right. Before we get Steven thoughts.
Yeah, so
Hey,
my
man.
computer just crashed on me, so I'm gonna have to roll with the Uno cell phone for the rest of the day.
I know I was
Okay.
going to say, what on earth happened to Kenneth?
You got to talk about his Cowboys."
I was going to
and then
say,
his
oh
book.
Lord.
I think Mo actually just called in a hit to Mac and said like, "Hey, we need to shut
He
this
did.
man's setup down."
Hashtag
He's saying that
Probably.
Dallas
He
is
did
gonna
say
lose. Like,
cancel.
let's go.
Mo straight up called Apple and was like, "Hey, I need you to this model number. I need you to shut it down. It's my boy Kenneth. He's picked against the Cowboys. It can't happen. Crash his computer."
And we do have circumstantial evidence as well. We have a burden of proof.
Yes.
Exactly.
Send the
Sometimes that's all
comment
you need to
section into
convict.
Apple. I want to get Mo canceled.
I went to Apple Care.
See, this is like the perfect just kind of microcosm of Dallas Cowboy fandom. You got two Cowboys fans canceling each other.
In a technology massacre like no other. So, Kenneth, what's your game to watch this week?
I'm gonna go with Raiders Chiefs. If we're talking about the games that we haven't already talked about, like I'm going with that one just because the Raiders did get slapped a few weeks ago when these two teams played. So let's see if they have fight left, because if they lose this game, then they could be one of those teams that start to fade away as far as the playoffs go. But if they put up a fight, we've seen Raiders beat the Chiefs in recent years. Like, it's not out of the question for them to bounce back and win this game. So that's a game for me to watch. I think Carr and Mahomes are going to throw it all over the field.
Yeah. All right. What you got, Steven?
Well, just Kenneth, that's a great matchup in my opinion, and for a lot of the same reasons. I don't want to really call this game to watch because I don't think it's going to be pretty. Can I just call mine a game to monitor? If you're paying attention to Couch's or Kenneth's and Dunkel's games, just monitor this one, and it's the Ravens versus the Browns, because there's not a whole lot of separation between these two teams. I don't think it's going to be very fun to watch. Like, if you're in your 60s and 70s and you just want to watch people's teeth get knocked out and people sliding and falling all over the field and maybe a little bit of pushing and shoving, you might like this game. But for those of us who are in our 40s and younger, we're just so accustomed to highlight reel culture. You're probably not going to get a whole lot of that in this game. But there's a lot of there's a lot to pay attention to in this game, because right now the Ravens have a 8-4 record, just a game above the Bengals here, and the Browns are tied with the Steelers for last place in the same division, right? So we talked about how teams need to separate from the pack. This is going to be a very pivotal game for the Baltimore Ravens, because with this win, they create a little bit of distance between themselves and the Bengals. But if they lose, then we're talking about, okay, can the Browns still win this division as bad as they've been at moments throughout this season? So you kind of have to put away one of your opponents in your division, right, and within your conference, in order to start worrying about the playoffs. And this is going to be that type of game for the Ravens.
Yeah, big time. The game I want to watch is the 49ers versus the Bengals. Jimmy Garoppolo enters the jungle. It is in Cincinnati. So also this is another historical, historical matchup. Obviously, these have been two Super Bowl matchups, Super Bowl 23 and Super Bowl 16. Joe Montana's not walking through that door. Boomer Esiason isn't walking through, nor is Chris Collinsworth as well. So, give you a little
Here's
historical.
a guy.
Yeah, here's a guy. Here's some guys. So yeah, and also here's a guy and that you want to watch, Jamar Chase, to see if he's going to be able to.
That's a guy.
A guy that's like we talked about him last week, kind of his struggles. Early on he was on the roll. So can he get back to that? The thing
T. Higgins is having some good games too, though.
Yeah, and we talked about him as well. Like we always looked at him as like kind of the bona fide threat. That was kind of one of the reasons why I didn't want Cincinnati to draft Jamar Chase. But I've ate my words, and I'm wrong. I'm a man enough to admit I was wrong. Penei Sewell, he's just struggling in Detroit, but we pray for him and your boy
Can't block everybody.
And B-Red, your boy, Jared Goff. Come on now.
So he was playing so well in Detroit, and there's just not a whole lot there.
Right. He's actually biting kneecaps, but no one's knowing. But it is what it is. You just look at just how they're another one where look, talking about Jamar Chase. You look at San Francisco, their pass defense has been very stout as of late. And then you look at that Bengals O-line last week against the Chargers. Joe Burrow got sacked 6 times, 11 hits. And now you got Joey Bosa coming to the jungle. So you just...
And the rest of that front seven.
Correct. So you look at those. And both these teams are playoff contenders, obviously. San Francisco is right in that 7th slot at this point. So they're there. Cincinnati actually has a chance to legitimately be the number 1 seed at the if Baltimore loses to the Cleveland Browns. So that's a team where we look at Cincinnati as a team that we thought was maybe 3rd, 4th place, and they might be they could be leading this division by the end of at midnight on Monday. Potentially.
Anybody in that division could be leading the division.
I think you're muted.
One thing to note in that game too is how much that finger issue for Burrow is going to affect him, because we saw him on Sunday, like it happened, and he was like visibly like pissed off about the fact that it's clearly broken. Let's see if that affects him this week, a week off, whether they can figure out a way for him to be affected with that finger issue.
Yeah. Big time, yeah, and that's gonna be definitely a game to watch, like you said, to monitor. Obviously, we know what the game to watch is, but like Stevens and to quote Steven words, this is the game that you want to monitor. I think we all, I know me and Kenneth at least that we speak for, and we know the game to watch. Obviously,
yes, the Cardinals and Rams.
Perhaps.
Steven, I'm sorry to tell you this, man, but there's a huge difference between a Rams and Cardinals rivalry and Washington Dallas. There's a different feel. There's a different vibe.
Yeah, and one of them is playing, in one of these matchups, you're playing for like the top of the NFC, and the other is just for, old person, bragging rights.
Okay. What do you call it? We're young businessmen. We're young dudes.
Yeah.
Steven, like the 4th seed in the NFC, like they are every year in the NFC East.
All right, hey.
I don't know. Is he insulting me or is he insulting you guys? I'm confused right now.
No, so you know how there's 4 division winners and they're seeded 1 through 4. Correct. And the NFC East is always in that 4th seed.
I got you. Okay, so it was directed to Couch and to...
Yeah, it's all right. Hey, I'll put it this way. I'm just saying, Dunkel, we might be taking a trip to Wisconsin on the 3rd week of January. I'm just saying.
That's right. That's all right. We got that bad man that he is, Aaron Rodgers, and if he's on the field and healthy, everything's gonna be all right.
I got TH. He know now. I'm not doing no ramble.
Aaron's fine until the NFC Championship.
Coach, Kenneth know all about Aaron Rodgers, man.
He knows.
They know all about that man, Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, I know too. He beat us too.
Thanksgiving, at every Christmas, because I got a fiance that's a Packers fan. I got a brother-in-law that's a Packers fan. So I hear all about the Packers. You don't have to. You don't have to let me know.
Y'all came and beat us. Yeah, y'all beat us.
Hey, I just like having fun with y'all. It's all in good fun.
They're right. Yeah, we know he broke our hearts in 16. You know.
Yep.
Well, yep. And we had that lead, and that damn Aaron Rodgers just took over.
Was that the run? That was the run the table year, right?
Which year?
2016. That was when the Packers were like 4-6, ran the table, got in the playoffs, and didn't they beat Washington and Dallas in back-to-back weeks?
Because I think that was because we won the division.
I'm right. Because
we won the division. We was at home.
Yeah, I know you're right.
That was the following year. That was the year later. That was 17.
I got to see that sideline catch. And 50-yard field goals. Yeah, I'm familiar.
Money Mason.
I'm not bitter, I swear.
Right.
No bitterness here.
So,
well, see, because I didn't remember the year, and then when I saw your face, I'm like, oh, I'm right. Okay.
You just saw it drop. It's what my head did when Rodgers threw that pass along the sidelines where I just went.
Yeah, so definitely. So, fellas, to round out this week, see you Sunday. We definitely got to give you our NFL Pick 6. And this week's NFL Pick 6 is brought to you by the good folks at Bet Us. Definitely huge shout out to Bet Us. They have the fastest payouts in the industry, and they do offer a 125% sign-up bonus when you use our promo code Off the Ball in all caps, not lies, but in capital letters. Off the Ball. I know the young folks say all caps. What do you mean all caps?
Just playing.
Not lies. Just playing, but capital letter. Capital letters, all capital letters, Off the Ball. Use our promo code there and sign up to win. So, fellas, and we got a pick 6 here. So, our first game that we want to discuss is Baltimore versus Cleveland. Uncle, who you got in this game?
Are we just picking a straight winner, or are we picking with the spread?
Straight winner.
Yeah, straight winner. Yeah.
Okay. I like the Browns.
Okay.
Do you need you want to score or?
Nah, you good. Yeah, you just I got the Browns. So you good. You good. Okay. Kenneth.
I'm rolling with the Browns because the NFL doesn't make sense this year, and the Browns are just going to win this game, and we're going to have like 8 teams at 7-6 because why not? Why not?
Right. Steven, who you got?
I'm rolling with the Ravens. In keeping with the who needs it more. You could argue that the Browns need it more, but Ravens, they got to really put a stamp on who they are this season because this AFC is wide open. And I don't think it's going to be a pretty game, but I think that Lamar Jackson does enough to get the win and, down with Baker Mayfield.
Well, put me on a Baker Mayfield ship again. It's the holiday season. Give me the Cleveland Browns. I'm feeling a little generous and dangerous.
He did just have another State Farm commercial.
So I might have to go Ravens then. Like, damn. No, I'll stick with the Browns this week.
Yeah, it's just gonna make sense. Like at this point, right? We got the Las Vegas Raiders at the Kansas City Chiefs. We got Dunkel.
I like the Chiefs.
Okay.
I'm gonna go with the Chiefs as well. I don't know. I know Vegas has had like their number the last few years of like winning games against them, but I just think Kansas City's rolling now.
Yeah, what you got, Steven?
I don't like it, but I'm going Chiefs. I just think that they've found themselves. I mean, they're on like a 5-game win streak or something like that, and looks like they're hitting their stride. And eventually, all the issues that have been going on with Vegas are bound to catch up with them. So I'm going Chiefs.
Yeah, give me the Chiefs. I think they'll take care of business and complete that sweep. So we got the Atlanta Falcons versus the Carolina Panthers. Who you got, Dunkel?
Falcons, Panthers, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Where's that? It's at Carolina?
Yeah. Yes. Yeah, Carolina. Yep.
I'll take Carolina. Cam Newton.
Okay. All right. Kenneth, what you got?
Give me Georgia. I'll take Atlanta in this game.
Give me Georgia.
I'll roll with Carolina. They're at home. Their defense is good. Falcons are a mess. One of these teams, whoever wins is probably going to be second place in their division for what that's worth. So I'll go Carolina.
the consolation prize.
There you go.
So yeah, and shout out to our boy Jelani. He always this is someone of a rivalry as well, and he always referred as the Carolina Panthers as the kittens. So sorry, Jelani, give me the kittens. Jelana. I gotta say Atlanta, Jelani. Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, give me the kittens.
Kittens for the win.
Kittens for the win. So we got the 49ers at the Bengals. Who you got, Dunkel?
I like the Bengals. They're at home. The Bengals have been playing really good this year, and I picked them early on as a deep sleeper team. On my podcast, I said they were going to have a good year. I didn't know if they were going to make the playoffs, but they would be right there. I think they're going to get it done. They're at home. San Fran, that's a West Coast to East Coast travel. I usually like the home team in those type of games.
We got Kenneth.
Give me San Fran this week.
All right, we got Steven.
I'm going San Fran too. I mean, the Bengals may be at home, but you're playing against one of the best road trip teams in the NFL right now, and they're starting to figure things out. So I'm going to go with San Francisco.
Well, people say pocket watching. I'm scoreboard watching. Give me the Bengals. I'm sorry, Pat, but I need a little cushion just in case if we slip up tomorrow. so Dunkel, we got the Chicago Bears and the Green Bay Packers, historic rivalry. Who you got?
The Green Bay Packers. Why? Because he's a bad man. Aaron Rodgers. He still owns the Bears. Packers by 21. Let's go.
Yeah. And let's see. Kenneth, what you got?
I'm rolling with the Packers because Justin Fields is a bad quarterback.
Hey, don't disrespect Fields. Cut, if you're gonna get Mo upset again, he loves Fields.
Don't forget to tip your waiter and waitress. He'll be here all week.
Oh, that was so much fun to say. I don't even mean that. That was just fun to say.
He'll be here all week, folks. So tip your bartender and waitress. All right, so Steven, what you got?
I'm going with the Bears because you guys have had some bad takes. So I'm gonna go
Wow.
I'm gonna go with the Bears. Daring to be different. Justin Fields is not a bad quarterback.
I know.
And I don't know. I mean, it's a rivalry game. Bad teams have been beating good teams. I have no evidence, nothing substantial that I'm going to be able to point to. Just a hunch.
Yeah. Shout out to Kenneth and Steven for the back-to-back knee slappers.
Can't be out. I can't be out dad joked.
Somebody in Columbus, Ohio.
Kenneth got some bad internet connection.
Or it's Mo. Mo's moved on to the internet provider now.
So we got two suspects. We got Mo Murphy and then someone in Columbus, Ohio. Wants to steal your shine. So we're working on that. So
Kenneth, you got some bad internet.
Man, I got a phone call and it just kicked me out of StreamYard. So I don't know. This is why you don't
Columbus,
use
Ohio?
it on your phone.
Someone from Ohio?
Justin Fields, you better take it.
Was it Mo Murphy?
I think so. I think Mo's just gonna keep calling me now, so that way I get off the show.
Hey, Justin Fields got a better record than Trevor Lawrence. I'm just saying.
Oh, I don't like Trevor Lawrence either.
I shot the Merle Street. He gonna be all right.
Although we'll see what happens when Urban Meyer gets fired in the next couple weeks.
Ooh. Exactly. He take
another Ohio State hit from Kenneth.
Yeah, I'm just going for the clean sweep here. Like
exactly.
Now you're starting to get on my nerves a little bit.
I take the Packers. You'll be fine.
Well,
I know, but you.
All these poor Ohio State fans. All this winning must be so rough.
Right.
You beat Duke in basketball. Y'all are gonna be fine.
Oh wait.
Exactly.
How you have the Ohio? Never mind.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna do it.
Yeah, so I guess Urban Meyer the UCLA rumors.
Yeah.
Well, if Chip don't leave UCLA, but anyway, there goes starting rumors. Yeah, give me Green Bay. I definitely think they'll take care of business. They like Aaron Rodgers, right? They do own Chicago, and Chicago, that statement lives in their mind rent free, and they don't do nothing damn thing about it. So rounding out our pick 6, we got Kansas City versus the LA Chargers on a Thursday night affair, week 15, fellas. Dunkel, what you got?
I like the Chiefs. I think they found their way. And they got to wash that bad taste out of their mouth from early on in the year when the Chargers came into Arrowhead and beat them. I think Mahomes is going to go crazy.
Yeah. You got Kenneth?
Yeah, I'm rolling with the Chiefs in that one as well. I mean, it depends what Chargers team shows up. Sometimes they look really good and sometimes they don't. So I'm still rolling with the Chiefs either way.
Yeah. Who you got, Steven?
I'm going with the Chargers. I mean, it's going to be a quick turnaround for the Chiefs. I don't think that their matchup with the Raiders is going to be it's not going to be a blowout, but I don't think it's going to necessarily be close. I think it's going to be enough to take something out of them the way when they have to go and play against Justin Hercutt to where, you know, the Chargers could pull one over them. I don't see the Chiefs being a 7 straight win team this season. And with me picking them over the Raiders, I don't think that the Chargers are going to be the 7th victory in a row for them.
Steven, what'd you call Justin Herbert?
His name is Justin Hercutt, and we've been calling him that since he cut off that long hair of his in our first season here on CU Sun.
And went buzz cut.
Okay. Yeah, he went buzz cut and looked like a 12-year-old.
I know, like the world, like he get an allowance.
Yeah, Justin Hercutt.
Like, bro, it's so wild. You know what? I'll be the minority. Give me go Chargers, go. In the words of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Yeah, I think, and that's the thing with Kansas City, but the Chargers, they're Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde.
Yeah,
and Mr. Hyde. 1 week they're on, 1 week they're good, 1 week they're off, 1 week they're on, and I've lost track at this point. Maybe they bound to have a good game on a Thursday. At this point, you know
they are Thursday. They're a Thursday night football team.
Correct. And hopefully they'll have some people in the stands and don't let it be 60% Chiefs fans.
It might be.
It probably will be.
More likely, yeah. You know, but hey, it is what it is. So, fellas, let's put a bow on this week's CU Sunday. So I'm gonna go around the horn, fellas. Social media, upcoming projects, and what you got. And Duck, I'm gonna go with you first.
My social media is at DP Podcast 1. That's my Twitter handle. You guys can also find me on YouTube at Dunk Productions. We've been doing some big things over there. Just had Jeff Hunt on this week. That video's up right now. Gonna be doing our own type of Sunday preview tomorrow over there. I do it with a couple of my buddies of mine. So if you guys want to tune into that, and yeah, just keep having fun making content.
Yes, indeed. Kenneth, what you got?
You can follow me on all social platforms at shooters_pod. Got my daily betting newsletter there. Constantly putting out betting picks. Won the last 2 days, which is huge after a tough Thursday there. And yeah, just be on the lookout for this Tuesday. I got Motor City Hoops coming on my show. And then Steven and I tomorrow for Breaking the Game as well. We're going to be chatting some NBA tomorrow on that show. So, yeah, lots of great stuff happening at Off the Ball Network. Go check out the website. A lot of great articles up there. Check out Built Bar, BetUS, all of our sponsors. We've got a lot of good ones there.
All right. Steven, what you got?
Yeah, so you can follow me at Steven G. Hoops on Twitter. You can follow Breaking the Game, which is the show that Kenneth and I both co-host, anywhere that you get your social media needs met at BTG NBA Pod. You can download the podcast anywhere podcasts are available at Breaking the Game. President and Off the Ball Network, Chris LeBron, and I co-host a draft-centric show for the NBA draft. It's called Draft Capital. You can follow us anywhere at Draft Capital NBA and look up the podcast, Draft Capital, anywhere that you get your podcast. This Sunday, Kenneth and I are recording. We're going to be talking about some stories that aren't getting enough attention, and it's going to be a good one. Just for anyone who's frustrated with the Los Angeles Lakers, we're going to be talking about Anthony Davis. It's going to be a good episode. And the following Friday, I'm going to be having Nathan Grubel from the Draft Deeper podcast on Draft Capital with Chris LeBron, and we're going to be talking about our big boards respectively. And anybody who loves draft content, you can follow me on Substack at steveng.substack or Stephen Gillespie at substack.com. And I have another big board in the works that's going to be released at the end of this month. So that's going to be good. Just anyone who wants to check any of that out, appreciate it. But Coach, it's always a good time, man, linking up with you. Dunkel, awesome being able to work with you the first time. And Kenneth, as always, it's a pleasure. We see each other's faces too much, but it's still fun. So
yeah, absolutely. Always a pleasure to do. See you Sunday with the fellas. Always good time for all of us all kind of come together and talk a little NFL. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, On the Couch Coach Live. Also the podcast, anyway, get your podcast, Apple, Spotify, we're there. Couch Coach Live, social media there. Also, I host a Watch the Football Guys podcast with my guy Rob from the Football and Chill podcast. So follow us on social media, on Twitter at WF Guys. Definitely give us a huge shout us out there. And then we also we just did a podcast with our guy Mo, did a preview of Dallas week, and then we're gonna have Kenneth a special holiday edition of the Washington Football Guys podcast. We're just still gonna we have that in works. We're still, me and Rob are still kind of getting that cooking behind the scenes, but we'll have him in the next 2 weeks, next 13 to 14 days. He'll be on. But yeah. But once again, great time, fellas. Always a great time chat NFL football. And like you said, I think Kenneth, you said it best. Definitely huge shout out to Bill Barr and Bet US. And yeah, man, great show once again. Don't forget to check out offtheball.com for all your sports needs. And man, we're here, man. Once again, hey.
Off the Ball YouTube too. Go hit it.
Yes,
subscribe to the YouTube channel as well.
Yes, indeed. Yeah. And great show, fellas, and we will see you Sunday.
Much love, y'all.
And we out. All right.